मातङ्गवदना मां पालया मातङ्गवदना मां पालया मौलीश्वर शिव गौरीनन्दन मौलीश्वर शिव गौरीनन्दन मौलीश्वर शिव गौरीनन्दन ईश्वराम्बा प्रियनन्दना ईश्वराम्बा प्रियनन्दना रत्नाकर कुलभूषणा रत्नाकर कुलभूषणा अखिल लोका राजना अखिल लोका राजना परम पूज्य स्तंभ सूत्रना सूत्रना अंतरंगा रंगना अंतरंगा रंगना भारद्वाज सगोत्रना भारद्वाज सगोत्रना भव्य नाम कीर्तना भजरे गुरु चरणं मानस भजरे गुरु चरणं दुस्तर भव सागर तरणं दुस्तर भव सागर तरणं गुरु महाराज गुरु जय जय गुरु महाराज गुरु जय जय साईनाथ सद्गुरु जय जय गुरु जय जय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुण शिवो अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुण शिवो ओंकारं भव ओंकारं भव ओंकारं भव ओम नमो बाबा ओंकारं भव ओंकारं भव ओंकारं भव ओम नमो बाबा ओंकारं भव ओंकारं भव ओंकारं भव ओम नमो बाबा ओंकारं भव ओंकारं भव ओंकारं भव ओम नमो बाबा मन बंगारु परती बाबा मन बंगारु परती बाबा मन सिंगार वदना साई मन सिंगार वदना साई मन बंगारु परती बाबा मन बंगारु परती बाबा अंतर्यामी बाबा अंतर्यामी बाबा मन सर्वांतर्यामी साई मन सर्वांतर्यामी साई मन सर्वांतर्यामी साई मन सर्वांतर्यामी साई धिम 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 शिवा धिम धिम धिमि धिमि नटन शिवा तांडव केलि विलास शिवा तांडव केलि विलास शिवा लीला मानुष वेश शिवा लीला मानुष वेश शिवा लिंगोद्भव कर साई शिवा लिंगोद्भव कर साई शिवा साई शिवा हर बाल 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 शिवा आदि नारायण साई नारायण आदि नारायण साई नारायण जय हरि नारायण जय जय हरि नारायण जय जय पंडरीवासा हरि नारायण पंडरीवासा हरि नारायण पतिनिवासा साई नारायण पतिनिवासा साई नारायण वरद नारायण वेद नारायण नारायण वेद नारायण तच्छय्योरावृणीमहे गातुं यज्ञाय गातुं यज्ञपतये दैवी स्वस्तिरस्तु नः स्वस्तिर्मानुषेभ्यः ऊर्ध्वं जिगातु भेषजं शन्नो अस्तु द्विपदे शं चतुष्पदे वरद नारायण वेद नारायण नारायण वेद नारायण जय हरि नारायण जय जय हरि नारायण जय 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 साई नारायण जय जय साई नारायण जय 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 साई राम 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 जय जय राम जय साई राम जय जय राम बोलो जय साई राम जय जय राम बोलो जय साई राम जय जय राम अनाथ रक्षक साई राम अनाथ रक्षक साई राम आपद बांधव साई राम आपद बांधव साई राम प्रेम स्वरूपा साई राम प्रेम स्वरूपा साई राम प्रेमावतारा साई राम प्रेमावतारा साई राम परिपूर्णावतारा साई राम परिपूर्णावतारा साई राम साई साई स्मरण करो साई साई स्मरण करो गुरु चरण कमल ध्यान धरो गुरु चरण कमल ध्यान करो केशव माधव भजन करो केशव माधव भजन करो सद्गुरु साई सेवा करो सद्गुरु साई सेवा करो श्री सद्गुरु साई सेवा करो सद्गुरु साई सेवा करो सर्वधर्म प्रिय देवा सर्वधर्म प्रिय देवा सत्य साई देवा सत्य साई देवा अल्लाह येशु पुत्र नानक अल्लाह येशु पुत्र नानक सौराष्ट्र महावीर तुम हो सौराष्ट्र महावीर तुम हो राम भी तुम हो कृष्ण भी तुम हो राम भी तुम हो कृष्ण भी तुम हो विश्वरूप तुम हो विश्वरूप तुम हो विश्वरूप तुम हो विश्वरूप तुम हो साई विश्वरूप तुम हो Love is my form, truth is my breath, bliss is my food. Love is my form, truth is my breath, bliss is my food. My life is my message, expansion is my life. My life is my message, expansion is my life. No reason for love, no season for love, no birth, no death. Reason for love, no season for love, no birth, no death. Satya dharma ananda, shanti premananda. Satya dharma ananda, shanti premananda. Shirdi sai, patti sai, prem sai, jai jai. Love is my form, truth is my breath, this is my food.
Offering my most humble pranams and prayerful salutation to the divine lotus feet of our most beloved Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba, revered elders, dearest brothers and sisters, Om Shri Sai Ram. And welcome to this very special webinar series that we are having that is specifically focused on Veda and what Swami has stated on Veda itself. This evening, or this afternoon in South Africa, evening in India, we are indeed very blessed to have the Professor N. Siva Kumar join us as our guest speaker this evening. Some background on Professor Siva Kumar. So Professor N. Siva Kumar is an esteemed educator in commerce and in management, known for his expertise in courses in undergraduate, postgraduate, and doctoral levels. He has a strong passion for activity-based teaching and experiential learning. Professor Siva Kumar is one of the great batches that has passed through the most prestigious Sri Satya Sai Institute of Higher Learning, bearing his divine name. Excuse me, where he completed his BCom degree and then the MBA at the Sri Satya Sai Institute of Higher Learning in 1989. He became the first doctoral research scholar the Department of Management and Commerce at the same institute. Excuse me. He earned his PhD in management with a thesis on value-based management, historical roots in India, and current practices. He has also served as the director of the Vrindavan campus and the Sri Satya Sai Institute of Higher Learning in Whitefields in Bengaluru. He is also the recipient of the prestigious Sai Krishna Award awarded by the Institute for excellence in research, along with other honors from the insurance industry. With over 120 publications, including journal articles, conference papers, and book chapters, Professor Siva Kumar has made significant contributions to his field. He currently serves as the Dean of Management and Commerce at the Sri Satya Sai Institute of Higher Learning. And during this time, he has been indeed very blessed by Swami as being a regular member of the Prashanti Mandir Vedam group. And from what little I do know about Professor Siva Kumar, this could be a period of about 45 years spent within the divine ambit of our most beloved Swami. So we are indeed very blessed by Swami to have Professor Siva Kumar this afternoon or evening to touch on Veda and the life that he has had with Swami through Veda itself, and why Swami has shown so much of importance to Yagna itself. Professor Siva Kumar, on behalf of Sri Satya Sai Global Council South Africa, we warmly welcome you virtually to the shores of South Africa. And we do hope, by the blessings of Swami, that you are keeping well. And we look forward to your address this afternoon. Thank you.
Om Sri Sai Ram, offering our collective pranams at Bhagavan's divine lotus feet, the Veda Purusha, the origin and the destination of the Vedas, and that phenomenon glorified by the Veda as that which cannot be glorified. we offer our humble pranams to our very beloved Bhagavan, who indeed has sustained the Vedas so that it has been a great benefit and a wonderful foundation for each and every one of us. I at this opportunity thank the organizers, the Sri Satya Sai Global Council of South Africa, for giving me this very wonderful blessing of interacting with you all devotees. I also take this opportunity to show our gratitude to Bhagavan, because it is purely because of Bhagavan and his bountiful mercy that we all have been able to enjoy his nectarine grace, and most importantly, the power of Vedas. In today's session, it will be my endeavor to explain how Vedas play an important role without or with our knowledge in our regular daily life, in fact, our entire life put together. The Bhagavad Gita very beautifully tells, Ananyash chintayan tomam ye janah paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vaham. Those who continuously remember the Lord ensures their yoga and kshema. Yoga kshema. The word yoga kshema has two connotations, two parts to it. The first is yoga, which is getting, obtaining, and kshema, which is maintaining whatever we have obtained, retaining it and getting the benefit of it. The beauty of Vedas and Yajna, which is performed as a part of Vedas, provides us the benefits of yoga and kshema. It helps us to obtain divinity, the grace of the Lord. And it not only helps us to obtain the grace of the Lord, it also helps us to maintain that grace and in turn benefit out of it continuously. And today I would like to narrate our story, my story, Swami's story through our family, wherein Vedas played a central role at every moment in this wonderful journey through this Sai family. Our family was blessed, has been blessed, because for hundreds of years, we in our family, for generations, we have been learning, chanting, teaching, propagating the Vedas. This has been a part of our family culture, and I very strongly have that total faith. It is this Vedas which actually brought us nearer and dearer to Bhagavan. How it happened? As I just mentioned, for hundreds of years, for generations, Vedam has been a part of our family heritage. As a child, I know my grandparents, both my father's parents and my mother's side's parents, Both of them have been a part of the Vedic movement wherein they would chant, they would learn, they would teach Vedas to countless people. Because of this thing, of this wonderful blessing, we were all part of this Vedic learning movement from a very young age itself. That, of course, also had an impact on my father. My father too knew a good amount of Vedic mantras and he would use them whenever it was necessary. However, for Swami to bring us into his fold, he wanted to show us the power and the extraordinary benefits of Vedas. And this is how it happened. In the year 1966, my father, who is a professor of food science and nutrition, he got an opportunity to go to the USA and pursue his PhD from the University of Nebraska at Lincoln. My father again understood this was the power of the Vedas. He took the blessings of his father, my grandfather, who in turn told him that wherever he was in any part of the world, he should always keep himself in touch and always in continued the grace of the Vedas. My father went to the USA but did not change his lifestyle. He continued his pursuit of Veda chanting, of mantram chanting, and in the year 1967, when I was hardly just a few months old, myself and my mother, we too joined my father at the USA in Lincoln, Nebraska. My father used to recollect the power of Vedic chanting because when he was in the USA, there was one Indian couple in the USA who wanted to get married the Indian way. Today, in this current age, there are so many Indians and people of Indian origin in the US, and there are several temples, Hindu temples in US that doing marriages or performing various rituals and programs as per the Bharatiya way, as per the Indian way, is not at all difficult. However, I am talking of close to 60 years back when there was no such facility. Yet, my father agreed to perform that marriage for that couple, Indian couple in the US, again, along with a Yagna as a part of the Hindu marriage. It was so unusual during those times that this entire celebration was actually covered by the local newspaper as something very extraordinary at those times. That was the way by which my father preserved the culture of our family, culture of our country in terms of giving respect to the Vedas, even though we were far, far away from India. However, In retrospect, today, I can feel that it was that adherence to the Vedas that ultimately brought us into Swami's fold a few years later. In the year 1971, my father completed his PhD from the University of Nebraska, and he actually got a job at that time as a food scientist in NASA. However, for some strange reasons, the guide, PhD guide of my father, refused to allow him to leave the university and join NASA. Because of this, my father could not join NASA. He was a little bit dissatisfied that he was not given this opportunity. He did not want to continue in the University of Nebraska. He tried several other universities where he could possibly get an opportunity to work. He could not get in any other university, any other job. That particular year, in the year 1971-72, we had to return back to India. Again, in retrospect, I feel this is a great blessing. Even though it may look like that we left that land of USA and came to India, it was this particular initiative of coming back to India actually directly brought us into Swami's fold. My father, when we came back to India, joined an institution called IVRI, and that was in a place in North India, close to New Delhi. And there were a very few South Indian families. We are essentially from South India. There were very few South Indian families in the place where we were living. The place was called as Bareilly. And the South Indian families, they wanted to come together so that they could in turn not only have interactions with each other on a regular basis, but also have a place where they could perform their worships and their programs. And the South Indian families of that place, Bareilly, they all decided that they would construct a temple for Lord Venkateshwara. So my father was one amongst the pioneers in constructing this temple. And the beauty was that here again Swami gave the opportunity to my father to be like a priest in that temple. Even though he was a professor and academic, he actually would act like the priest in performing or chanting the various mantras, though there was a professional pujari, a full-time pujari for the temple. My father used to go and chant the mantras and the various Vedas, Vedic mantras, so that the priest in turn would perform the puja. It was at that time in Bareilly that Swami decided that this family, which indeed has its roots in the Vedas, does require Swami's direct attention. And I would like to tell and highlight that yoga getting Swami's grace and attention comes out of our adherence to the Vedas. That is indeed the power of Vedas. At that time, in Bareilly, my father acquaintance of a captain from the Indian Air Force. And this captain was Swami's devotee. My father was not, because he did not know about Swami at that time. And that captain of the Indian Air Force, who was an ardent devotee of Bhagavan, he gave to my father the Satyam Shivam Sundaram Part 1 book, which chronicles the life story of Bhagavan in the earlier years, written by Professor Kasturi. My father read that book. He was, I would use the word, thoroughly attracted by Bhagavan, and he felt extremely elated reading that book. In that particular book, Satyam Shivam Sundaram, Professor Kasturi takes a few pages to explain the very grand and beautiful way the Dashara celebrations would happen in the early years. When I'm talking of early years, in the 1940s and early 50s at Prashanti Nilayam at Puttaparthi. It was much later, in the early 1960s, that the Veda Purusha Saptaha Jnana Yajna, the Dasara Yajna, was started at Prashanti Nilayam. But much earlier, in the 1940s, late 1940s and early 1950s, there used to be a grand Dasara program at Prashanti Nilayam. Every evening, Swami would be carried on a palanquin throughout the Puttaparthi village, and Swami would bless profusely all the devotees, and those devotees in those times were hardly, possibly just 100 plus devotees who had assembled there at Puttaparthi at Prashanti Nilayam. Swami would be taken by the devotees inside the village of Puttaparthi. Swami would go around, give darshan, and come back to the Prashanti Nilayam, where again Swami would give darshan to all the devotees. The beauty of these Dasara celebrations were devotees have seen Swami in various forms during these processions. Some days, devotees have seen Swami not in the form of Swami, but in the form of Mother Goddess Devi. They would think that they are actually seeing Devi, and they would actually see Kumkum on Swami's forehead. Swami bless all the devotees, and one of the regular practices would be they were kept near Bhagavan in the palanquin basketfuls of flowers. Swami would take those flowers in his hands and throw it on the devotees who were there on the sides. And the beauty, the miracle would happen. Those flowers, while falling on the devotees, they would not fall as flowers. Instead, they would fall as gold coins. On one side would be Shirdi Baba, on another side would be Lord Venkateshwara or Goddess Devi, Bhavani, Lord Shiva. All these figures would be there on the coins, and devotees would keep those coins as blessings from Bhagavan. Interestingly, the captain from the Indian Air Force, who actually gave the Satyam Shivam Sundaram book to my father, he too had one such coin. And my father was so pleased to see that coin, get blessed by that coin. He felt extremely, extremely happy. But inside, my father had a very interesting desire. This desire, which was in the year 1971-72, my father inwardly told Bhagavan, Swami, if I also get one such coin, on one side could be Shirdi Baba's image, on other side could be Venkateshwara Swami's image or Lord Shiva's image, I will also feel very happy and blessed, and I will take this as a cue from you, Swami, as an indication from you that you are blessing our family and we have to dedicate ourselves to you. And my father continued the Vedam chanting in the temple, and the miracle did happen. As you all know, in Hindu temples, at the end of the puja, the pujari shows camphor arti to the Lord, and he would come outside with that plate, camphor plate, for the devotees to take that blessing of light. And at that time, the devotees will also offer a few coins to the Lord by putting those coins on the plate of where the pujari has the camphor light. So many devotees would come and offer a few coins. At the end of the day, the pujari would count how much coins he got, which would go for his maintenance. And my father would wait till the pujari completed this entire ritual, and both of them, after completing all the puja, all the Veda chanting, they will lock the temple for the evening and go back to their homes. One day, the pujari, while counting all the coins, gave one coin to my father, telling, "This coin somehow doesn't seem to be normal. There is no denomination value in this coin," and he gave it to my father. What the pujari saw as valueless, my father saw as the most valuable, because it was a coin. On one side was Shirdi Baba's image, on the other side was Lord Venkateshwara's image. This was the very same type of coin that my father had prayed to Bhagavan to be blessed with, so that he would take it as an indication that Swami had blessed our family, our adherence to the Vedas, and that would give us the fillip to participate in Swami's activities more. My father realized that this coin was not any normal coin, it was indeed a miracle. But my father wanted to ensure that it was not put by mistake by anyone in that plate. He went and asked that captain from the Air Force whether he had put the coin by mistake. The captain told no, the coin that he had with himself was safe. My father inquired with every single devotee who had visited the temple that day, and none of them ever could make out whether they had ever such that coin, and they did not know whether who had ever put that coin in the plate there. The beauty is that Swami comes into our lives in unknown ways. If we adhere to the Vedic way of life, Swami will make it a point to pull us towards him, yoga, and he will do it in any way that he wants. My father got the coin that he prayed for. We very shortly after that my father got a job down in South India in a place called Coimbatore in Tamil Nadu, which had been vastly blessed by Bhagavan. There was a samiti at Coimbatore, and it was very in no time that there was a bhajan center, a Bal Vikas center, and possibly partly a samiti at our home in Coimbatore. This is how, when we take one step in terms of Veda chanting and adherence to the Vedas, we just need to take one step. What it means for all of us devotees is that spend a short time, if necessary, if possible, also a few minutes also if possible, on a daily basis, spend it for Vedam chanting. Any mantram is acceptable for Bhagavan. There is no special mantram. Any mantram is acceptable. If we chant the Vedas, that gives Swami the opportunity to push himself into our lives. It is like that particular password which makes our life open so that Swami can enter our lives. That is one of the powerful lessons that each one of us must take from this, that regular chanting of Vedas makes us, our entire families, closer to Bhagavan. That is what is yoga as a part of Yoga Kshema. Coming to Kshema, within a short time, in the year 1982, I got the blessed opportunity of joining Bhagavan's education institution at Brindavan at a very young age. I was just 15 years old. I got an opportunity to join Bhagavan's education institutions in what is in India called as the intermediate classes, which is just a year or two before the undergraduation. And as I joined, even before I joined, even when I was studying for my schooling at Coimbatore, my father ensured that a regular Vedic Pandit would come to our home daily and teach us, that is my father and myself, Vedic mantras on a daily basis, that at a very young age I had learned a lot of mantras which I would get an opportunity to offer to Bhagavan when I joined his education institutions. I joined in the year 1982, and Swami was so much particular that students who knew Vedam mantras must be given prominence, must be given special attention. So, along with, we all know our very respected Vedanarayan sir, who continues to chant Vedas daily at the Kulwant Hall at Prashanti Nilayam. Along with him, he was of course very, very senior compared to me. Along with him, I used to chant Vedas daily at Brindavan. It was a great opportunity, and it gave me the confidence that the chanting of Vedas and adherence to the Vedic life by our family brought us close to Bhagavan, and my continuation of chanting ensured that Swami will continue to keep me closer in that same education and Sai system. In the year 1985, it was Bhagavan's 60th birthday. It was a landmark event at Prashanti Nilayam, and Swami wanted the students who could chant Vedas with proficiency. Swami wanted them to be a of all the programs that would happen at Prashanti Nilayam. I was blessed to be a part of that group wherein Swami gave us silk dhotis and angavastrams which we could use, and we were a part of every program that happened during the 60th birthday. What a joyful time it was. We were a part of the opening of the administrative building at Prashanti Nilayam. We were a part, Vedam chanting part of the opening of the planetarium at Prashanti Nilayam. We were part of the Vedam chanting group from Mandir till the Hillview Stadium, everything happening because Swami wanted his students who could chant Vedas with proficiency. They all had to lead Swami's programs. This is the power of Vedam chanting. The more we adhere to Vedam chanting, it will ensure that we will get multiple opportunities to continue to be in Swami's mission, to continue to be serving Bhagavan in whatever way it is possible. The chanting of the Vedas has given me immense benefits, and I would like to share with you all some such wonderful stories of how these benefits accrued in very miraculous and wonderful ways. This particular incident happened in the year 1994. Swami wanted the Vedam students to chant Vedas not just for a few minutes every day during the Dasara. Swami wanted us to chant Vedas literally for hours together, to the extent that Vedam chanting would go on inside the interview room as Swami would give interviews to devotees. We would chant Vedas. Swami took us to his rooms and made us chant Vedam inside his rooms. It so happened that because of this continuous chanting of Vedic mantras for long hours every day and for many days together, 7, 8, 9 days together, it just so happened that my voice got affected and my voice became very squeaky. I could not speak clearly, and I was surprised how I am going to continue chanting Vedas, because whenever there was some Vedic chanting and if there was any mics which have been kept for that purpose, normally a mic would be kept in front of me. And I was afraid that if a mic is kept in front of me and I am asked to chant Vedas along with others, my voice would actually sound very terrible. Yet, I know that when we totally rely on Bhagavan, indeed is the embodiment of Vedas, he will take care of us. We don't have to worry about anything. I remember this was on the day of the Purnahuti, the last day of the Dasara Yajna. As I was getting ready to go for the chanting, one of my roommates asked me what was the time. I wanted to reply to him, and to my astonishment, I found there was no voice coming out of myself. There was no sound coming out of me because the vocal cords had possibly been affected because of long chanting. Yet, with all faith in Bhagavan, I went to the Purna Chandra auditorium in our Vedam attire, the red dhoti and the red angavastram. I sat for chanting, and to my trepidation, the mic was kept in front of me. I was afraid what will happen. There was no voice coming out of my mouth. The mic was kept in front of me. I tried chanting, and a few seconds later, Swami came towards us who were chanting Vedam, and Swami just indicated to us like this with hand, chant loudly. I myself was surprised that my voice was crystal clear in a loud pitch. I could hear my voice through the speakers. Even a few moments before, my voice was not clear at all. I kept chanting the Vedam mantrams, and Swami was so happy. He kept on increasing the pitch of the Vedic mantras so high. And we kept on chanting because Swami was there in front of us. All these programs got over. I went back to the hostel. A few of my Sai brothers in the hostel commented that the Vedic mantram chanting was so wonderful, so nice to hear that day, especially on the mics. It was very nice. They commended me. I really realized, I understood that it was all Swami's blessings that was happening. And actually, I wanted to thank them for commending me on this chanting. I wanted to tell them, Sai Ram, it was all Swami's blessings. Just 10 minutes after the entire program got over, when I wanted to thank someone by telling Sai Ram, I opened my mouth, there was no voice. In fact, it took close to a week for me, for my vocal cords to become normal and my voice, I could recover back. Yet, before the program, there was no voice. After the program, there was no voice. During the program, it was crystal clear voice. The only thing that was required was faith in Bhagavan and Swami's strength. Just telling chant. That is the power of Bhagavan. When we chant the Vedas, especially we are all very blessed because most of us, in fact none of us, chant the Vedas solely, purely for personal benefit. We all chant the Vedas for the sake of pleasing. And we chant the Vedas for pleasing Swami. Swami ensures that every resource, everything that is required for us will be given to us in abundance. That is the power of adherence to Vedic chanting. Yet another time, again in a very similar vein, when I was chanting the Vedic mantras, to ensure that my voice would be clear in the mic, I would actually keep one lavang, a clove, in my mouth. I would keep biting it very, very slowly so that the essence of that would keep going to the throat and the voice would be more smooth and clear for longer periods of time. So one day while chanting, I remember our entire Vedam group, we were sitting on the stage of Purna Chandra. The Yajna was happening in front of us. I was chanting and I was having this clove in my mouth. I used to be biting it once in a while so that the essence would go and I would be able to chant Vedas very smoothly and clearly. Swami came. Swami blessed all of us and Swami went into the devotees' side in Purnachandra. Swami went till almost the very end and Swami was returning back. And as Swami was coming back, even from far, I could make out that Swami was very keenly looking at me. And Swami was actually murmuring something. While keenly looking at me, Swami was murmuring something. I was surprised why it is happening. Swami came closer and closer to us. He got on to the stage of Purnachandra. He went and took the arati as a part of the Dasara Yajna and started coming closer and closer to us. And I could make out Swami was seeing me and again telling something, murmuring something which I could not make out what it was. Yet, as Swami came very closer and closer, I could realize what was Swami telling. Swami was indeed making an indication and giving an indication, and Swami was telling in Telugu. Swami told, Yemo Tintunnadu, meaning I was biting that clove once in a while so that I will have the essence of that clove soothing my throat. Swami was seeing this single act which was happening once in a while from far away, and Swami commented telling that he had noticed that. That is the power of Vedic chanting. The beauty of Vedic chanting is it brings Swami's vision onto us. This is what is called as Sudarshana. We see Swami, but Vedam chanting makes Swami see us. If we get this wonderful opportunity of Vedam chanting, we must continue to do it because it will ensure that Swami will continuously watch us, Swami will continuously see us, and we will continue to get that wonderful blessing. I remember Swami giving us multiple opportunities, multiple times asking us to chant Vedam mantras on various occasions. I remember this very interesting story, how Swami motivated, inspired us so that we will be ready to chant mantram, anything at any point of time, any mantram at any point of time. So therefore, just before the Dasara Yajnam, Swami called the students who would be chanting the Vedic mantras. Swami called all of us, and Swami told these students, they all know to chant Vedic mantras. And he pointed to us and told the devotees and the elders who were sitting nearby, they can chant any mantra. And Swami told, see, I'll make them chant. And Swami asked immediately to all of us, chant Namakam. So immediately we were all ready. We had to chant the Namakam. Let me take this opportunity to chant a few sentences of the Namakam. Let us all enjoy that particular moment. Om Ganeshaya Namaha Saraswatyai Namaha Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya Om Namaste Rudramanyava Utota Ishave Namaha Namaste Astanvane Bahubhya Mutatamaha Yata Ishu Shivatama Shivam Babhuvate Danuh Shiva Sharavya Yatavatayano Rudramridaya Yate Rudra Shiva Tanura Ghora Papakashini Tayanastanu Vashantamaya Girishanta Bichakashihi Yamishangirishanta Haste Bibhashyastave Shivangiritrataං Kurumahi Gumse Purushan Jagat Shivena Vachasa Tvagirishacha Vadamasi Yathana Sarvamijjagada Yakshmagum Sumana Asat Adhyavochadadi Vakta Prathamo Daivyo Bhishak. We were chanting this mantram because Swami had asked us to chant Rudra. By mistake, I told Swami wanted us to chant Namakam. Swami wanted us to chant Rudram. So we all know this is the first few sentences of Rudram, and we all chanted it. Swami felt very happy when we all chanted Rudram, because it starts with Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya, and Swami was extremely happy. We felt elated that Swami gave us this wonderful opportunity to chant Rudra. Next came, again this is all Swami's Leela. Next came something like a bombshell. Swami asked us, now you all have chanted Rudram, now chant Namakam. Now we were shell shocked, because for us, in our very limited knowledge, Rudram and Namakam are one and the same. They are not two different mantras. But Swami was asking us, chant Namakam. And we were surprised. How will we chant Namakam when we had that mantra? Then inspired us. Namakam means what? Swami told, Namakam means na ma. That is not mine, not me. That is Namakam. The beauty when we chant Vedas, Vedic mantras, we start relying so much on Swami continuously that we stop thinking that we are doing. We more and more rely on Swami and know it is Swami who is doing everything. Then Swami inspired us, because na ma, you are nobody. It is Swami who's doing. Then Swami inspired us, when you have to chant Namakam, you must chant that particular paragraph where this na ma keeps on coming regularly and regularly. If we see the very first paragraph of Rudram, the word Nama comes, but it comes occasionally. Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya, Namaste Rudramanyava Utota Ishave Namaha, Namaste Astu Dhanvane Bahubhya Mutate Namaha. After these three sentences, you will not find the word Nama. Ya Taishu Shivatama Shivam Babhuva Danu Shiva Sharavyaya Tavatayano Rudram Ridaya. You will not find the word Nama coming. But Swami told Namakam means you must chant that part of the Rudram where Nama repeats again and again and again. Then Swami inspired us to chant the second paragraph of Rudram, because Swami told that indeed is Namakam. That means that you no more rely only on yourself, but now you start relying on God, on Swami. Na ma. Then we started chanting the second paragraph of Rudram, that is the Namakam. Namo Hiranyabahave Senanye Dishancha Pataye, Namo Namo Vrikshebhyo Harikeshebhyah Pashunam Pataye, Namo Namah Saspinjarayat Vishimate Pathinam Pataye, Namo Namo Bablushaya Vivyadhine Nanam Pataye, Namo Namo Harikeshayo Pavitine Pushtanam Pataye, Namo Namo Bhavasya Hetyai Jagatam Pataye, Namo Namo Rudraya Tatavine Kshetranam Pataye, Namo Namasutaya Hantyaya Vananam Pataye, Namo Namo Rohitaya Sthapataye Vrikshanam Pataye, Namo Namo Mantrine Vanijaya Kakshanam Pataye, Namo Namo Bhuvantaye Varivaskritaya Ushadinam Pataye, Namo Nama Ucchairghoshaya Krandayate Pattinam Pataye, Namo Namah Kritsnavitaya Dhavate Sattvanam Pataye Namaha. This paragraph explains the Namakam because it tells that every moment is actually a worship of the Lord. Nama, Nama, Nama. We continuously have to keep worshipping the Lord. In that process of worshipping the Lord, we realize that it is because of the Lord, it is because of Swami that everything happens, not because of us. This indeed is the second powerful learning from the Vedic way of life from chanting Vedas. The first one, if you all recollect, I told Vedam chanting brings us, our families, each one of us closer to Bhagavan. The second powerful message that Vedas give us is that it makes us realize that it is Swami, it is God who does everything. He uses us as instruments to do the work that needs to be done. Once we have this particular realization, this particular attitude that it is Swami who is doing everything, we are indeed his instruments, our lives will become much more sacred because we will know that everything that we do indeed is ordained by, is made by Swami to do with a specific purpose. Let me narrate a few more such wonderful incidents wherein Swami made us realize that the power of the Vedas and the power of Yajna indeed makes our life more sacred. As we all can see, the notice of this particular talk is the significance of Yajna. Swami has told Yajna, the word Yajna comes from the word Yaj. Yaj means to sacrifice. I heard from the organizers of this program that the Sri Satya Sai Global Council of South Africa is arranging a huge yajna very shortly, wherein all the devotees will get this opportunity to participate. It will be very useful for us to know the significance of yajna so that we will be able to participate with a better and more in-depth understanding. Yajna, as the word yajna comes from the word yaj, to sacrifice. What needs to be sacrificed? Swami again gives us very wonderful ways to appreciate this. At a very physical level, Swami tells when the yajnam is performed, the ritualistic aspects include sacrificing or offering ghee into the yajna, offering grains into the yajna, offering every other type of material into yajna, into the fire. Swami would very beautifully tell this as a way by which we can connect back to Swami, back to divinity. Swami, in his very characteristic way, would tell, if suppose I'm not talking of the current age where we have literally stopped doing all this because of today's email, Twitter, Instagram, and all this media, social media, and electronic ways of communication available to us. In the earlier times, and today also it is available, in case we want to communicate something to some other person, we would write a letter, take it to the post office, or the courier office, deposit that letter in that particular office, write the address to whom it has to reach, and then we forget. We don't bother, because if we have written the address and if we have paid the sufficient money for that, possibly in the form of affixing certain stamps or paying the money for that, we don't afterwards worry how it will reach the person who has to receive it. We will 100% know he has received it. Today, in our electronic age, even we have tracking systems. We can check on a moment by moment basis how it is actually going to that person. Yet, we don't go and see the intricate working of the postal department or the courier department, how it reaches there. It does reach. Swami, in his very characteristic way, would tell these yajnas are like the post that we are offering to the post office, the material. They will indeed reach the person to whom it has been addressed to. It has the mantras, they address each one of these mantras are addressed to various forms of divinity. Ultimately, they are our divine Bhagavan, and they all reach Swami. Swami told, so the yajna is a process like communicating with divinity. But Swami told that is only one aspect of the yajna. The other aspect of yajna, Swami told, is even more in depth. It is more transforming. Swami told, what is that needs to be sacrificed? Yaj means to sacrifice. What needs to be sacrificed? Then Swami told, the true sacrifice is all our negative tendencies, all our evil tendencies. Once we start sacrificing these negative tendencies of ours, Swami told, we will become, we will reach a better position to get to imbibe Swami's grace in a better way. That indeed is the true purpose of yajna. The true purpose of yajna is not just the satisfaction of few of our prayers. That will also happen because of yajna. But the true purpose of yajna is our transformation. We should become better and better people. When we become better, what is the meaning of becoming better? Becoming better essentially means we lead a more divine, a more better life connected to Bhagavan. We are able to feel the presence, the impact of Bhagavan in our lives. That indeed means our lives are becoming better. When we are able to do that, when we are able to remove this negativity from our lives, that Swami told indeed is the true yajna. So therefore, when the devotees at South Africa, when you are going to do this yajna, keep in mind it is not just for some material worldly benefits alone, but it is for spiritual benefit in terms of our own transformation. We become more spiritual, more divinely inclined, that our lives become a part of Swami's grand mission. Let us keep this in mind and let us have this as our real purpose of yajna. In fact, in the Dharma Vahini, Swami talks about this in a very interesting manner. Swami tells, in the ancient days, people, kings especially, would do what was called as the Ashwamedha Yajna. And it was wrongly thought Ashwamedha Yajna is one sacrifice where people will have to physically sacrifice a horse, Ashwa. Then Swami corrected and told it has nothing to do with sacrificing a horse at all. The true Ashwamedha Yajna, Swami explained, Ashwa. Ashwa means a horse. A horse's innate tendency is to continuously keep something in the horse, continuously keep changing or moving. If we observe a horse, we'll find its tail moving, its eyes moving, ears moving, legs moving. Something or another in the horse will continuously keep moving. Horse is indeed a representation of fluctuation, of variation, of movement, vacillation. But it is not just that horse, Swami told, Ashwa Medha. Medha indeed is our mind. And our minds are always having its own fluctuations, vacillations. Swami would very nicely tell the mind is so much in vacillation that the mind can be at multiple places at the same time, and mind can be faster than anything else. At this moment, you all can imagine that you are at Prashanti Nilayam. Even light cannot reach in that speed. You can be at that speed, you can be even faster than light. You can at this moment imagine you are there in the moon. You will reach even faster than light. Swami told mind is so powerful, at the same time mind keeps on vacillating. Swami told Ashwamedha Yajna is indeed sacrificing these vacillations, these movements, these fluctuations of the mind, so that the mind becomes more and more steady. Therefore, Yajna represents this sacrifice in our lives. We have to sacrifice our negativity. We have to sacrifice all our baser instincts so that we can rise higher in lives. Swami, in a very, very beautiful manner, whoever is seeing this video can actually perform this activity with me. Swami would very beautifully tell, you can keep your hands both ways like this at the same level. And then Swami would tell, lift up one hand. So one hand is higher and another hand is lower. And Swami would tell, whatever is there as the higher can be called as the ideal. And whatever is there below, lower, can be called as practical. To bring both of these to the same level, Swami would tell there are two ways. You can bring this hand which is higher, you can bring it down. They have come to the same level. But Swami would tell the other thing is also possible. Take this hand upper. This is also possible. Swami would tell the real thing, in order to make both ideal and practical the same, you should not bring down the level of the ideal to the practical. That is the wrong thing to do. The correct thing to do is indeed rise up the practical to the level of the ideal. That will ensure that both ideal and practical are the same. That indeed is the power of Yajna, the power of the Vedas. Because Vedas and Yajna help us to remove these negativities, to ensure that we will be able to rise up to the level of the ideal. And that ideal is what the Vedas always tell. That ideal is as explained in the Ishavasya Upanishads Shanti Mantra. Purnamadah Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. What is the ideal? The ideal is Purna. Purna means fullness, completeness. The ideal is to realize that each and every one of us is indeed complete, indeed full. When we realize this, we will know that we have actually come from that fullness and we go back to that fullness. We come from Swami and we go back to Swami. That is the power of understanding, nurturing the Vedas. And how do we nurture the Vedas? Very simple. Chant the Vedas regularly. That is sufficient. We chant the Vedas. People may ask this question, I may not know the meaning of the Vedas. Is that okay? The answers again from Swami. Swami very beautifully tells, it is nothing wrong to know the meaning of the Vedas. If we know the meaning, it is very good. But the beauty of the Vedas are, if we chant Vedas, even without knowing its meaning, that will also be beneficial. Swami gives this very beautiful example of a sick, a person who's having ill health, who goes to a doctor. The doctor diagnoses him, performs certain tests, checks the problem. The doctor writes a certain number of medicines, tells this person, take it, and you will be cured. This person can ask the doctor, doctor, tell me how these medicines will cure me. The doctor would reply, my dear, don't bother as to how these medicines will cure you. Have the faith, you take these medicines, the medicines will cure you. Indeed, the medicines will cure us. Even if we don't know the procedure or the process by which the medicines will cure us, they will still cure us. If we know the process, it is good. But everybody does not know the process of how these medicines work, what are the biochemical reactions behind that. None of us know. Yet, it works. Swami tells, Vedas are like these medicines. You chant them. If you know the meaning, very good. If you don't know the meaning, don't worry. They will cure the fundamental disease. And what is that fundamental disease? The fundamental disease of ignorance, the fundamental disease of negativity, wherein we feel that we are not divine, we are just only human. Swami tells that the more we chant the Vedas, we will realize our true, innate, true essence, which is divinity. And the more and more and more we chant, slowly we will realize that even if we don't know the meaning of the Vedas, that is the power of the Vedas. So therefore, Vedam chanting ensures that we will be able to have such a wonderful, peaceful and very satisfied life. I would like at this moment to ask the organizers, are there any specific queries that if they have come, should I address or tell a few more stories or few more incidents with Bhagavan in this regard? Kindly guide me.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Professor Siva Kumar. That was very insightful, very beautiful, the anecdotes that you given directly from Swami himself. And knowing that you have been a resident of the Shantanayam or even at the Namakam campus for close to almost 5 decades. So there's obviously many experiences that you've had with Swami, and especially with the Veda Purusha Saptaha Jnana Yajna that has been taking place under Swami's direct instructions from, I think, about 1962, 1963, and still continues today as well. Were there any instances where Swami would sit with the Prashanti Mandir Vedam group in those earlier days and instruct how to learn, what to learn, also if he had even instructed students to chant and read correct?
Wonderful, sir. Thank you. Thanks for this very nice question.
Sure.
The question, yes, sir. Anything?
Yeah.
Okay.
So have those instances ever taken place?
Yes, yes, yes. I will be very happy to. I'll narrate them surely.
Yep.
Yeah, the question was, has Swami instructed any specific mantram that we need to learn? And at any point of time, has Swami asked, can the student community or devotee community, whether they should specifically learn any mantram to be chanted? It's a very nice way to do understand. The first thing that we should understand is Swami never specified that only this mantram or this set of mantrams alone must be chanted. Swami would allow us to learn any new mantram and continuously keep chanting them also, so that actually speaking, over a period of time, the Vedam group at Prashanti Nilayam, we have learned many new mantrams, and Swami has allowed us to chant them and get the benefit out of them. However, on some specific occasions, Swami has indeed asked the student community as well as the devotees in general. Swami had asked to learn this some mantrams and chant them. One such mantram which Swami wanted all the devotees, all the students to learn was this very powerful mantram of Rudra. In fact, at one point of time, every evening, Swami would ensure that some of the students would actually chant and make all the devotees learn the Rudram mantra. Of course, it was in relation to the very specific occasion where we had the very big Rudra Yajna, the 10-day Rudra Homam, that what is that called? Maha Rudra Homam that happened and in Swami's presence at Prashanti Nilayam, where we chanted that Rudram thousands of times. Swami wanted all the students as well as all the devotees to learn the Rudram mantra, and it was a great opportunity for us to learn that. However, otherwise, Swami never specified that only a few mantrams must be chanted. In fact, Swami encouraged us to learn as many mantrams as possible, and we continue to learn, even continue to learn new mantrams with the help of various facilities, and we do continue chanting new mantrams also, because all Vedic mantras ultimately are essentially extraordinary positive vibrations. We will never be able to understand or appreciate the full potential or potency of Vedam chanting, because even as we chant the Vedas, we may be thinking that we are only chanting a few syllables, but the amount of positive vibrations that they create in the world is tremendous, and we will never be able to understand its total potential. So the beauty is that let us chant as many mantrams as possible. Even if we don't know many mantrams, no problem. Let us chant a few mantrams. What Swami wanted was the sincerity and the steadfastness in chanting the mantras. Thank you, sir, for asking that question.
And also, you probably were one of the earlier batches that had exposure to Kamavalani Garu as well. And a great Vedic scholar that Swami had brought to Prashanti to start this wave of Veda that has spread throughout the world, part of his mission of Veda Poshana. How were those initial experiences? I mean, what was the discipline in learning Veda? Was it many mistakes could have been made, many errors could have been made, or was there extreme discipline when sitting, especially in Swami's presence, and learning directly from Kamavalani Garu and Swami?
Wonderful, sir. In fact, it does take us back to those very, very nice moments. We did get opportunities to learn from all these extraordinary experts of Vedam, including Kamavadhani Garu, as it was just mentioned. Yes. What was important, these people who were all great exponents of Vedam mantras, they were also very compassionate. The beauty was that they knew that as students in the learning phase, we may possibly make mistakes. In fact, it does happen. In the learning phase, we may not be able to get certain uh, syllables correctly, certain intonations correctly. And all these experts ensured that they will very patiently teach us again and again and again. That was the one of the greatest lessons that each one of us from have learned, not only from these exponents of Vedas but directly from Bhagavan. Swami would always be so patient so that people will be able to learn these mantras correctly. But the most important thing is not actually about making mistakes. The most important thing is, in case we are making mistakes, we should first of all, with all sincerity, we should ensure that we should correct those mistakes and then become better and better in chanting. And that comes only because of continuously keeping on chanting these mantras again and again and again over many years, decades. So therefore, that was the power. All these great exponents, all these great people who taught us Vedic mantras, they first of all taught us the power of compassion. That mistakes can happen, yet they also taught us the power and importance of continued practice. That over a period of time, we will actually be able to chant without any mistakes, because that indeed gives the best positive vibrations. It was a very wonderful question that you asked, sir, and we could recollect back those wonderful moments.
Amazing, amazing. Is there any, I know, Adiruddha Mahayagna was held in Prashantinam this year, at the beginning of the year itself, in February, I think it was. But there was also Adiruddha Mahayagna held within the Divine Presence in 2006, 2008, and Rudram has been a very focal point of this. But beyond that, the Upanayanam ceremonies that has taken place, especially this year marking the Shata Janmotsavam of Bhagavan, has always been a very focal figure in Prashantinayam. In fact, in Swami's whole mission of Veda Poshana, by passing on this lineage of continuously learning Veda to the next generation and to the next generation and so forth. What are some of the significant points in Upanayanam? Why is it so important? And why has Swami ensured that this practice has been maintained over the many decades?
Wonderful, very nice. It's a very sacred ritual as a part of the Bharatiya tradition. The idea behind, as we all just now we have heard or we have regaled in enjoying Bhagavan's story, is that when we get the opportunity to chant the Vedas have the power of transforming us. We are no more just the ordinary people that we are. We are born into a new life. That is what is technically called in Sanskrit as Dvija, born again. Dvija, born for the second time. And when are we born for the second time? We are born for the second time when we lose our baser instincts, our negativities, and then we realize our true innate self, our true innate divinity. That comes just by ensuring that we are able to chant Vedas regularly and imbibe the power of Vedas in our daily life through better practices, better life, better activities that we do. The Upanayanam ceremony, as asked by Sir, one such way by which, in a formal manner, still children opportunity to become better. They become Dvija. They become better. They are born to a better life. How? Through the Upanayanam ceremony, they feel that they now have to nurture the Vedas, and they have to indeed take up this exalted way of Vedic life. Once they do that, they are born into a higher level of living, and Swami would insist that everyone, each one of us, whether we are male or female, whether we are young or old, whether we, irrespective of any of our background, all of us indeed must get benefit of this Vedas, which will in turn give us a better life. It will help us to be born into, when I mean born, I'm not talking of a physical birth. I'm talking of born in terms of our transformation to a better life. So therefore, in that context, Swami has indeed done multiple times Upanayanam ceremonies as an indication for students, youngsters, that they have to indeed grow into a better life. Yet, I would like to highlight one thing. It is nothing in terms of a specific ceremony of Upanayanam. Surely it's a valuable one. But more important than the specific ceremony of Upanayanam, what is important? Am I growing in spiritual ways daily? If I can do that, I am indeed being born, being transformed every day. That indeed is the true message of being a Dvija, which is in a formal way done through this Upanayanam ceremony. But most important, am I becoming better through self transformation? If that is happening, indeed we are getting the benefits of Vedic way of life and Vedam chanting. Wonderful, sir. Thanks for that
Thank you.
question.
Thank you so much. I think we have run out of time, but it's just so wonderful to have you on. I think personally, from many travels to Prashantinayam, the regular faces are Professor Vedanayan sir and Bhargav sir, but on the odd occasions that there are festival programs in Prashantinayam, the voice of the Professor Siva Kumar is heard with the rest of the group. So it's wonderful to have you on and to hear all the insights that Swami has given you in Veda, and to have spent that close time, that close proximity with the Veda Purush himself, and what value it has had to your life and to many others, passing through the proximities of the university and here on this virtual platform where we get to hear directly from one of the members of the Prashanti Mandir Vedam group of how Swami has spread the values of the Vedas to many generations. So we thank you. And we do hope to have you on our virtual platform, maybe even physically in South Africa one day. But we do hope that this is part one of many parts that you will speak to all of us. Our Swami will speak through you on the value of the Veda itself. So we thank.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor.
Thank you so much, sir.
No, we offer our utmost gratitude to Bhagavan Sri Sai Baba for affording us this opportunity of spending it within his proximity, for allowing us this opportunity to learn the value lessons that the Veda gives to each and every one of us, and also for just allowing us to spend it within his divine presence. This webinar on Veda. We will continue with the discussions in future webinars. We do pray that you have a blessed evening and look forward to close. We'll pray this evening, which will then be followed by Mangalati. Thank you.
Om Jai Jagadish Hari Swami Satya Sai Hari Bhakta Jana Samrakshaka Bhakta Jana Samrakshaka Bhakti Maheshwara Om Jai Jagadish Hari Shivadana Srikara Sarva Pranapati Swami Sarva Pranapati Ashrita Kalpaladika Ashrita Kalpaladika Abharvadava Om Jai Jagadish Hari Mata Pita Guru Devam Mariyantayunide Swami Mariyantayunide Nada Brahma Jagannatha Nada Brahma Jagannatha Nagendra Sharana Om Jai Jagadish Hari Omkara Rupa Siva Sai Mahadeva Satya Sai Mahadeva Mangala Arati Anduko Mangala Arati Anduko Mandala Giridhari Om Jai Jagadish Hari Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana 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 Om Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Jai Sadguru Deva Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana 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 Om Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Jai Sadguru Deva Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana 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 Om Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Jai Sadguru Deva Shanti 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 Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu Om Shanti Shanti